Let's get right into it. Number 7. Silent question hoarder. Picture this. You're sitting in class, everyone else is scribbling down notes like their life depends on it, and you're just quietly staring at the teacher, like you're downloading the lesson straight into your brain. People think you're zoned out. In reality, your head is stockpiling questions like a squirrel hoarding acorns. This is one of the sneakiest marks of true intelligence, the habit of asking yourself questions constantly, even when you don't blurt them out. Smart people don't just accept information at face value. They poke at it, flip it upside down, and wonder if it still makes sense. They'll hear, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and instead of nodding like everyone else, they're internally screaming, okay, but how much electricity are we talking here? Could I plug in my iPhone? Psychologists call this active inquiry, and it's basically like running your brain on hard mode. You're not just memorizing, you're interrogating reality. It's exhausting, but it also means you're building deeper connections than the average person who's happy just writing cell equals battery and calling it a day. So if you're the quiet one in the room, the one who doesn't raise their hand every 5 seconds, but later drops a bomb question that makes the teacher reconsider their life choices, congrats. You're not shy, you're just secretly operating a 24/7 detective agency inside your skull.
Number 6. Comfort in awkward silence. You know that moment when a group conversation dies and suddenly everyone's staring at their shoes like the floor just became the most fascinating thing on earth? Most people panic. They start blurting out nonsense about the weather or asking if anyone's seen that one show on Netflix. But you're totally fine marinating in the awkward silence. This isn't social cluelessness. It's actually a subtle flex of intelligence. Smart people don't feel the need to fill every gap with meaningless chatter. Their brains are comfortable processing, waiting, letting the gears turn. In fact, silence is where some of the best ideas sneak in. Think about it. No one ever had a world-changing epiphany while nervously babbling about traffic. Neuroscience even backs this up. Moments of silence give your brain's default mode network room to breathe. That's the part responsible for imagination, reflection, and problem solving. Basically, when you're not yammering on about TikTok trauma, your brain is busy connecting dots that other people didn't even know were on the page. So if people call you awkward because you don't rush to murder every pause with small talk, don't sweat it. You're just letting your internal think tank run the meeting. Everyone else is playing background music. You're composing symphonies in your head.
Number 5. Obsessive micro-noticer. Imagine walking into a cafe with a friend. They see coffee and chairs. You, on the other hand, instantly clock that the barista has switched to oat milk, there's a new plant by the window, and the guy in the corner is clearly breaking up with his girlfriend based on his hand gestures. Yeah, you're that person. Hyper-awareness of tiny details might look like paranoia, but it's actually a hallmark of subtle intelligence. Smart brains are wired to scan environments like over-caffeinated detectives, catching things most people's mental radar ignores. Psychologists call it high sensitivity to patterns and anomalies. Normal humans see wallpaper. You notice the one flower in the pattern printed upside down. The catch? This habit can make you look intense, like you're auditioning for CSI Small Talk Edition. But there's a reason geniuses, inventors, and artists often seem distracted. Their brains are tuned in to the micro level. Every flicker of behavior, every oddity in a system, every weird vibe in the room, you pick it up. And once you start connecting those details, you suddenly see the bigger picture way before anyone else. So yes, your friend may laugh when you whisper, that couple's gonna break up in 5 minutes. But when the screaming starts, guess who's right? Exactly.
Number 4. Chronic note scribbler. Now, let's talk about one of the nerdiest yet deadliest habits, compulsive note-taking. And no, not just in class, I mean everywhere. Grocery lists that turn into philosophy essays, sticky notes that look like a conspiracy theorist's wall, random phone memos at 3 a.m. that say things like, toaster equals time machine? Question mark? People assume note scribblers are forgetful. In reality, it's an intelligence move. Writing is how smart brains dump their clutter so they can think more clearly. Cognitive science shows that externalizing thoughts frees up your working memory. Basically, your brain stops juggling flaming swords and can actually focus on building a castle. And here's the kicker. It's not about the notes themselves. Half the time, you never even read them again. The act of writing rewires your memory and understanding. It's like sneaking into your brain's settings menu and switching on extra storage mode. Sure, your friends may tease you for carrying a notebook like you're a 19th century poet. But guess who's quietly connecting dots, spotting patterns, and solving problems while everyone else is scrolling Instagram? Yeah, the scribbler.
Number 3. Overthinking everyday garbage. You know that moment when you toss a receipt in the trash and suddenly spiral into a full-on mental debate about recycling systems, consumerism, and whether we're all just tiny ants in some galactic ant farm? Yeah, that's not just you being dramatic. That's your intelligence showing. Smart people don't just let things slide. They overanalyze the most ordinary, boring stuff. Buying toothpaste? Suddenly you're questioning fluoride politics, marketing manipulation, and the ethics of mint versus cinnamon flavor. Most people just brush their teeth. You're busy writing a dissertation in your head. This happens because intelligent brains can't help but connect everything to everything else. Psychologists call it associative thinking, the habit of bouncing from one idea to the next, like a caffeinated kangaroo. It's exhausting, yes, but it's also the birthplace of innovation. Every weird invention, from Velcro to Post-it notes, started because someone overthought a random moment. So when people roll their eyes and tell you to stop overthinking, remember this: you're not broken. You're just running a simulation of the entire universe in your skull while they're busy deciding what to watch on Netflix.
Number 2. Obsession with why. Kids are famous for asking why every 5 seconds, until adults either cry or invent a fake answer. But some people never grow out of it, and that's a dead giveaway of higher intelligence. If you're constantly bugging yourself and others with endless why loops, congrats! You're basically a philosopher trapped in a regular human body. See, intelligent brains don't just want facts. They want frameworks. Knowing that something works isn't enough. You need to know why it works, what's behind it, and whether that explanation holds up under pressure. It's like you're the annoying lawyer in every conversation, demanding evidence and poking holes in flimsy logic. This habit is what makes breakthroughs possible. Einstein wasn't sitting around satisfied with Newton's equations. He kept asking why things didn't add up. And boom, relativity. Of course, in daily life, this makes you insufferable at dinner parties. Someone says, "This diet really works for me," and your brain immediately fires back, "Why though? Placebo? Metabolism? Blood sugar voodoo?" It's not arrogance, it's compulsion. Your curiosity is like a toddler that refuses to nap. Sure, people might sigh when you launch into your 5th "but why" in one conversation. But secretly, your restless curiosity is the engine driving all progress.
Number 1. Long-term chess player. Most people live like they're playing checkers. Grab what's in front of you, jump if you can, and hope you don't get cornered. Intelligent folks? They're basically running a 4D chess match in their heads all the time. This doesn't mean they're plotting global domination, though honestly, give them a white cat in a swivel chair and they'd nail the aesthetic. It means they think in terms of long arcs, not quick wins. While everyone else is choosing between instant ramen or takeout tonight, they're also calculating what those choices mean for their health, budget, and future sanity 3 months from now. Psychologists call it delayed gratification and future orientation. You probably know it from that famous marshmallow experiment, the one where kids could either eat a marshmallow now or wait and get 2 later. Spoiler, the kids who held out, they generally did better in life. Intelligent people naturally flex this muscle, often without realizing it. But here's the fun twist. Living like a chess player can make you look kinda boring. While your friends are bragging about impulse buys, you're the one muttering, "Yeah, but compound interest though."
While everyone else dives into drama, you're playing the long game of not destroying your peace of mind. It's the least glamorous kind of brilliance, but it pays off. So if you catch yourself seeing 5 moves ahead, even in dumb situations like picking which checkout line moves faster, that's not anxiety. That's your intelligence running predictive models trying to keep future you from punching present you in the face. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.